our fathers, therefore we're the children. And we inherit every aspect of the fathers. Right? Therefore, when we daven the Shemona Esrei, we say Elokei Avram, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov. L'chei, that's the same God. Why don't we say Elokei Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov? Davening would go quicker. Say Elokei Avram, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov. Why are you adding all these two extra words? Say Elokei Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. You finish with Magen Avram, because he said Vayei Bracha. Avram's uniqueness was he was. But why do we say not Elokei Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov? Because everyone, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, had a unique relationship with Hashem that the other one didn't have. Avram had with Ava, Yitzchak had with Yira, and Yaakov had with Tinamis Yaakov, Teferes. So we say Elokei Avram, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov. Every Jew possesses all three traits. We have Chesed and Gevurah and Teferes. The Shvatim is not Avinu's. Reuven, Shevet Yitzchak, it's not Reuven Avinu. Why? Because those Jews that came from Reuven had the Aved of Reuven, which is Re'iyah. Those that came from Shimon have the Aved of Shimon, Shmiyah. In the various different Avedas. So he's saying, in the Aved of Yitzchak, which is a level of wells, that's the Keli. So you have a Makiv Keli, and you have a Primius Keli.
Yitzchak was a digger. He dug into Esau, but he couldn't be in the future. He dug into Esau. He was a digger.
Right. No, so the Alter Rebbe is going to ask the question now. L'cheira, so basically the Alter Rebbe said everything Yitzchak did was for Esav. But the pearl, it was Yaakov. He says, Avda Yitzchak and Shach B'chinis Yitzchak, which is Butzina de Kardenisa, Moker Agvoris, and therefore it says, they said, Lanu Hamayim. Why did the shepherds fight with Yitzchak and they said, Lanu Hamayim? Because Makif, Goyim have a connection to. So they said, Lanu Hamayim. Why is it only the Makif level? Why is it only going to Kedusha? If you don't need a Keli for the Makif, so we're also good. Okay, so now he said, but now the Alter Rebbe asking this. Vini calls that who avon is a pasuk lefi daitish so Yitzchak. This is all explaining the pasuk that it was Esav and why Yitzchak did what he did. According to Yitzchak, it was Esav in front of him. So he did all these things that he spoke about. Yeah, to be. But Alabama, so you say Yaakov. But in reality, it wasn't Yitzchak, Esav there. It was Yaakov. And the Pearl Torah is Emes. So how are all these things that Yitzchak said were officially for Esav's Aveda now transferred to Yaakov? So he says like this. Vine Isa b'medrash, he says in the medrash the following. It said, Vayarach Esrei begodav, that Yitzchak smelled the smell of the garments, yeah? Now, begadav normally means beged. But in Hebrew, begad means to rebel. The psukim, begadim, whatever. So he says, begadav is the level of bali tshuva, which is the level of also of makiv, the mashkelim b'chele yatir. So he says like this, Esav is makif. So therefore, Yitzchak thought it's a makif level in front of him. It was the previous level of Yaakov, of Tikkun, Zah. So it doesn't make sense in reality. So he says Yaakov is also the level of Makif. Why? Because Begadav, it says in the Medrash, of the Begadav, meaning the rebellion that did Tshuva. Tshuva is also a Makif level. But not a Makif level of evil. Tshuva is a Makif level, meaning it's higher than Pneumius. And again, to explain this in simpler terms, the question, what we learned many times, how could tshuva today undo a month ago? A month ago passed, it's in the record books, it's in the history books. How could tshuva today undo the past? It doesn't make sense. Past is past already. What's the answer? Tshuva reaches a level of elokus which is above time and place. Because tshuva comes from the essence of the Jew, that touches the essence and the core of the Hashem. Therefore, tshuva is not limited in time and place. Therefore, the Rambam says, Yisois and tshuva, but the Zohar has an expression, tshuva is b'shaita choda or b'riga choda. How long does tshuva take? Tshuva takes 1 second. A split second tshuva takes. Yeah, what does that mean in practical language? You don't have to do tshuva for an hour, because an hour is already time and place. Tshuva is a level which is above time and place. What's tshuva? Instantaneous regret of what I did. How long does that take? It takes a second. And we said, the pasuk says in Tillim, Kerchek mizrach mimayriv hichik lonu es b'sha'enu. Like the distance from east to west, you should distance our sins. Well, what does it says? The Mefarshim explain. How far is east from west? 1 turn. 1 split second, you're east, now you're west. That's the distance, meaning in 1 second of tshuva. So tshuva is also makif level. Because because tshuva is makif level, it's above time and place. So yes, a month ago is not a month ago, and today is not today. It's all above time and place. There is no past and there's no present, only future.
Like we're saying, there's a level of Memana that's higher than Makif.
Yeah. It's called Elokim. We said the other day, all the Mefarshim asked, the Chassidus, the question is asked a lot. V'yitan l'cha Elokim. Elokim is limitation, teva. So such lofty brachas, yitin v'yachza v'yit mitala shemayim atik. L'cha, what do you mean Elokim? You should say v'yitan l'havaya, or v'yitan l'cha anoichi, or whatever. I mean, whatever is Elokim. So Elokim means power and might. But there's a level of power and might that's nature. And in the source of it, there's a level of Elokim, which is the mighty power of Kedusha. It's not Tzimtzum. It's Gvura, which is the power of being Mamshech Elokus from a super high place to a super low place. That's why the bracha was Mishmane Mitala Shemayim, all the way down, like the Rebbe said before, Mishmane Aretz, to come into Shmani Aretz. What Shmani Aretz? Rome. Right. Shmani Aretz Yameshevacha, right, is the Italia Shel Yavin, which is Italy, which represents Rome, which represents the ultimate level of Klippa. So the bracha comes Mitala Shemayim, in the highest level of Atik, all the way down Mishmani Aretz.
So there is a Klotzi that is higher than Klali.
Yeah, and there's a klali that's higher than that, and there's till you get all the way up to the essence, and then you got everything together. Even in Atik, another Maimorim, it says that there's 2 levels of Atik, like everything else. There's a level of Atik that's connected to Arich, and there's a level of Atik that has nothing to do with Arich. Whatever you call them. Okay, Shebizayir Amal Pasuk Avram Zakim Baba Yom. It says in the Zayir and the Pasuk Avram got old coming a day, Zakon and Imor the Tufta. It says in the Zayir that the people that do tshuva are more meritorious, have more merits, meritorious, thank you, that they bring down a higher level of Kedusha down lower. It comes from a level, the ultimate level of tshuva, comes from a level that the neshama can't handle. Like the story of Rabbi Elazar ben Dodai. What happened to Rabbi Elazar ben Dodai? We know he put his hands between the knees and he cried and his soul popped out of the body. That means he couldn't handle that level of tshuva. That means he brought down a level of Kedusha that the body and the Neshama in the body couldn't handle. Like by Matan Torah, or Nadav and Avihu when the Neshamas popped out of the body. But over there by Nadav and Avihu, it was negative. It was negative. And by Rabbi Elazar ben Dodai, by Matan Torah, it's positive. And that answers, explains, and this, what he's saying over here, answers another question Chassidus asks. As soon as Rabbi Elazar ben Dodai did tshuva, we learned this. So Baskol came out from heaven. Rabbi Elazar ben Dodai, Mezuman Olam Haba. He's going straight to Olam Haba. Bacha Rabbi, the Gemara says, Rabbi cried, said, we, Yesh Kaina Elamai, the whole life. Some people have to work a whole life to earn mitzvahs to get Gan Eden. V'yesh Kaina Elamai b'sha'achas. And this guy got Gan Eden in 1 second. We work our whole life to go to Gan Eden. And this guy, in 1 second, so Chassidus asked the question, okay, he did tshuva that cleaned all the filth on him. You know, he did all the impurities, that cleaned. But he didn't do the mitzvahs. Like the Alter Rebbe said, he gets a tshuva. Why the tshuva for positive mitzvahs is easier than tshuva for negative mitzvahs? Because you didn't actively sin. You just passively didn't do the mitzvah. But even if you do tshuva, the revelation is missing. The Gemara says, what Shusterman says, there's a crookedness you can't fix. The Gemara says you missed Krishma of the night, whatever, you missed the mitzvah. Because even if you do tshuva, okay, that the evil gets removed, but the good I didn't do, how am I going to get that good? So Chassidus answers, and this is what Alter Rebbe is saying over here. Chassidus answers, Rabbi Elazar ben Dodai, in that level of tshuva that his body couldn't handle, was such a great level of Gilui, of revelation of Elokus, that makes the undone done. Normally tshuva makes the done undone. You did an Aveda, it makes the Aveda undone. But it can't make the undone done. You didn't do the mitzvah, you didn't do the mitzvah. Right? I'm sorry, didn't make it happen. A story the Friedrich Rebbe once called in a chassid. He told him to do something. Chassid didn't do it. He couldn't do it. So the Friedrich Rebbe called him back in and said, what happened? So he says, I couldn't do it. And he gave him legitimate, not the cop out excuses, you know. He gave him legitimate excuses why he couldn't do it. So the Friedrich Rebbe said to him, I asked you a question, you gave me an answer, but the thing still wasn't done. Like, okay, you gave an excuse, but the bottom line is it wasn't done. Rabbi Elazar ben Dodai revealed a level of Kedusha through that level of tshuva that his body couldn't handle it, that the undone became done. That's much greater than normal tshuva. Normal tshuva makes the done undone, but it can't make the done and the undone done. Rabbi Elazar ben Dodai, at the highest level of tshuva, make that happen.
When we do mitzvah to have clothing and Torah study,
To food.
to be ready to receive the higher life.
In Gan Eden.
When they haven't done mitzvah, when this guy hasn't done any mitzvah, and he goes up there, he's going to blow up.
That's what I'm saying. That level of tshuva gave him all the mitzvahs that he did. It makes the undone done. He had all those mitzvahs that he didn't do. I mean, that's not a normal tshuva, by the way. As you can know, he died from, you know. But there is such a level of tshuva that Zdainis Nasali Kazachis. Avedis become mitzvahs. What?
It's a Persian joke that people from Hamadan,
Dun. Masha'en came Avram, it says, Ba Bayamim. Okay, he made a keli. Ba Bayamim means he coming in days. He made a keli for that kedusha. V'alos man kazel, which is mak neshim mizbein, and b'gedula saying tov baruch hu ba'atzmei v'chvede. When a person meditates into the greatness of Hashem, ki ani avay lo shenisi. He meditates in the realization that what Gilui is the universe, array of array of array. Vayodim karen li'amer v'nikra b'al tshuva. Af mi she'ein averis b'yodei. And now the Alter Rebbe says, this is a level of tshuva not for averis. When we were discussing the other day, Mashiach's aveda is to get tzaddikim to do tshuva. Now they don't do any averis. He means is, what does it mean? Af mi she'ein averis b'yodei. What does it mean? Sayak ala pirud. The person cries of the fact that the neshama is in the body, a body of a tzaddik that does no sins. But the fact that the neshama is in a body that restricts it, it has to eat, it has to drink, it has to sleep, it still is not the level of kedusha of neshama out of a body. He's screaming at that separation from Hashem, and therefore he wants to return to a pre-body level of relationship with Hashem. And that's the tshuva of a tzaddik. And that's the ultimate level of tshuva, by the way. The Zohar was mechadish, so to speak, that tshuva is not for Avedas. It's also for Avedas. You did an Aveda, you need to do tshuva. You broke away from Hashem, you need to come home. But then there's another coming home. You're home already. But you have to come to the inner chambers, into the Kodesh HaKadoshim you got to go into. So now the Alter Rebbe is late, but the Alter Rebbe asked, but Yaakov Avinu's Kedusha, so he says, the bracha that he was supposed to get is higher than what he had on his own. Like he just said, that was the bracha.